Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. My name is Tim Harris, pastor of Woodburn Baptist Church, and it's 10 o'clock, means it's time for 10 with Tim. Each day, Monday through Friday, we take 10 minutes, give or take a few minutes, and we go verse by verse through the Word of God. We are in the book of Nehemiah, and I am loving it. It's not really new to me. Honestly, I've read the book of Nehemiah, but I just love it. He's just one of my favorite characters. He is an amazing example of leadership, and just as a wannabe leader, I just feel like reading Nehemiah is a master class in leadership, but especially chapter 3. Now I know some of you read chapter 3 is like, oh, Pastor Tim, it's all names. It's just it's people's names. It's the names of gates of the old Jerusalem wall. I know. But pay attention to what this is and what it represents. First off, have you ever tried to organize a group of people to do a single project? I mean, like some of you right now, you can't get your 5, kids to go out and pick up sticks in the yard, without, having to threaten their lives, and then they fight each other. And I'm just saying, what is described here in chapter 3 is just one of the most amazing leadership accomplishments. I mean, what Nehemiah has done. And don't forget the fact that when Nehemiah arrives in Jerusalem, he is looking at traumatized people. These aren't just people, waiting around for inspiration. These are people who have lived through trauma and generations of trauma. And some of you know what I'm talking about. And you know how difficult it is to lead, to motivate, to energize people who are so demotivated by the trauma of their lives. They are literally living in rubble and have been, some of them, well, probably most of them, for all of their lives. And so for Nehemiah to come in any way and try to get this large number of people finally to see the need and to see the disgrace and then to be energized to go to work, I just think it's absolutely amazing. Now, just by organization, you'll notice that there's like 45 sections of the wall here that are listed and 10 different gates, something like 40 work crews. And again, this is an amazing accomplishment of leadership and organization. Hire him, hire Nehemiah if you're running a company. He's just phenomenal. The first 15 verses are like the northern and western walls. And you'll notice that all the landmarks, trying to describe the different sections are usually references to gates: fish gate, sheep gate, dung gate. Now let's stop right there. This is one of the most detailed biblical descriptions of the old city of Jerusalem. So historians, archaeologists love chapter 3 because you don't get anything like this anywhere else. And I'm not saying that's what Nehemiah intended to give, but just that, the description, just sort of, starting in one spot and sort of moving around the city. It's an amazing historical record of what the old city was like. The gates, they tell you something. I know it sounds kind of weird. The fish gate. Well, the fish gate is probably the gate closest to the fish market. The sheep gate is the gate closest to the place where sheep were brought in, for the market, and also they were the sacrificial animals. The dung gate is probably the gate that people used when they were, wanting to dispose of dung outside the city in a particular valley. You see, so those gates really describe location and also function, and I just think it's fascinating. Name after name after name. Verses 16 to 32, it's the eastern wall, but notice there the landmark is more houses and buildings. This seems to be a place where the choice is made to extend the wall. So they're no longer just following the old Jerusalem wall, but now they're going beyond that on the eastern side. I just think that's kind of interesting that they didn't follow the old wall. So chapter 3 is full of people. Do you remember people in your life? I know some people come and go. You can't remember some people's names. Other people you remember forever because of the impact they made. Nehemiah is very intentional about giving significance to the contributions of the everyday people. And I love it because this wall is built by everyday people. These aren't, stonemasons. They're not engineers. They're not, retired construction workers. These are just people. a number of people, they repaired the wall in front of their own house. The youth group of the local Baptist church did a section, and that was probably really good craftsmanship. But in some ways that really doesn't matter. It's what Nehemiah is building, of course, in the city, but also building in the lives of the people, the traumatized people of God. If you're leading traumatized people, all kinds of people, but again, especially people as demotivated as the people of God here, they need purpose. And for 100 years, they've been saying they were going to build, Jerusalem, bring Jerusalem back. But it takes a man like Nehemiah, a man of vision, but also a man who understands how to deal with people, how to work with people. He gives them purpose. He helps them to see this rubble, not just as a sign of their disgrace, but also a vision of the rebuilding as a sign of their restoration, as a sign of their unity, and as a sign of God's forgiveness and bringing them back to favor. I just think it's amazing how he just gives these people purpose, and that's transformative in their lives. And not just that, it's the community. Everybody's out here building, and if you've ever worked by yourself, you know what that's like. But if you've ever just had a full day of working with other people, just joyful, good, hard work where everybody's working hard and everybody's working together toward one purpose, man, there's just nothing like that. So don't miss the fact that Nehemiah here is not just rebuilding the city. Nehemiah's rebuilding the people. He's rebuilding community, and people need purpose and people need community. I think that it's kind of amazing. I see three things here. I see coordination, just, plan the work and work the plan sort of thing. I see cooperation. Again, you do the part in front of your house, we'll get the perfume guild, which is literally in there. And they're going to do this section. You divide by geography, you divide by interest. The Rotary Club's going to do this section. The ladies group's going to do this section. They won't need mortar. They'll put the bricks together with essential oils, and everybody just sort of does their thing, this amazing cooperation. And then the commendation. I just love how Nehemiah knows the names of the people, and he knows who worked beside whom, and all of that is important enough to document. I know a lot of you are church people, and a lot of you have probably done a lot of work in the church through the years. Have you ever been made to feel like the work you were doing mattered, that it was significant? I just think it's so important to show appreciation and to make sure that somebody knows, I see what you did there. I see what you're doing. And I just want you to know it matters. It means something. It's a part of something bigger, because everybody wants to be a part of something bigger. So whose name is missing? In this long list, whose name is missing? Well, Nehemiah, it's like, what did he do? Well, gosh, what did he not do? It's all Nehemiah, but at this point, it's just, that man just sort of disappears into the community. He disappears into the work. And it's not like, that gate formerly known as the Dung Gate is now be called the Nehemiah Gate. Most leaders, they wouldn't really want to be a part of it if they weren't going to, be memorialized, put a statue. But Nehemiah just disappears into the work. He disappears into the people. And at this point, his contribution is elevated no more than anybody else's. And Nehemiah seems completely okay with that. And what a leader, just what a leader. Whether you're a pastor, leader of a bank, whether you're managing workers on a farm, my goodness, this is how you do it. You coordinate and you cooperate and you commend the work of people. And in the process, you're building more than a wall here. You're literally building, the people of God, literally building up the community. Love it so much. Pick up right here tomorrow, chapter 4. Now, it sounds like it's going pretty smooth, but tomorrow the enemies will come back. They will. They were actually never not there, but the tension in the story turns tomorrow to Sanballat and Tobiah. Boo, these are the bad guys, and man, they're going to try to stop the work, but you can't stop what God's going to do. So tomorrow, chapter 4, verses 1 to 23. Have a good Wednesday. It is beautiful outside. Everything I can do today, I plan to do outside. Our church has a nice pavilion out to the side there, and that's where I plan to go and do my work today. God bless all of you who are carrying heavy burdens. I love you. If you have a prayer need at any day, not just today, but any prayer need, anything you just need, put it in the comments here. We'll pray for you. We'll remember you, not just me, but everybody else involved in 10 with Tim. We're kind of a family. So reach out, whatever you need. Let us know how to pray for each other. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the morning, Lord willing, 10 o'clock for 10 with Tim. Have